I had no idea who my husband truly was. When we met, he seemed perfect, charming, polite, and caring. I married him without knowing much about his past, or his true nature. If I had known then what I know now, I might have made a different choice. But back then, he appeared to be everything I wanted. Let me start from the beginning. It all started at a friend's wedding. The atmosphere was full of joy. People were laughing, dancing, and enjoying themselves. I was having a good time, chatting with friends, when I noticed him. He was standing alone, tall and handsome, looking at me, but not speaking a word. He didn't join the fun or the dance floor. He only observed from a distance, which made me curious. 2 days later, I received a message from an unknown number. "Hi, I saw you at the wedding. Can we talk?" The message took me by surprise. I replied, "Who is this?" He responded, "I'm the man from the wedding. You looked beautiful. I would like to get to know you." I was intrigued, so I agreed to talk. We started texting, and he was kind, polite, and flattering. He told me that I was special, and he liked me. We continued texting for 2 days, non-stop. On the 3rd day, he said something that caught me off guard. "I want to marry you. I see you as the mother of my children." I couldn't believe it. We barely knew each other. I questioned him, but he assured me that I was the one for him, that he would make me happy. His words made me believe him, and I agreed to marry him. Our wedding was small, but lovely, just close family and friends. I wore a white dress, he wore a suit, and we both smiled with joy. Everything seemed perfect. In the beginning, he was the man I dreamed of. He showered me with love, care, and sweet words. He bought me gifts and made me laugh every day. I felt like I had found my soulmate. But soon after, things began to change. About a month into our marriage, I saw him smiling at his phone one day. I asked him, "Who are you texting?" He quickly hid his phone and said, "Just a friend." I didn't think much of it at first, but something didn't feel right. Days turned into months, and we had 2 children, a son and a daughter. Life looked good on the outside, but I felt a distance growing between us. He started coming home late from work. He stopped spending quality time with me. He became distant and secretive. He didn't let me near his phone anymore. I suspected something was going on, but didn't confront him right away. One night, I found his phone on the table while he was in another room. I opened it, and my worst fears were confirmed. I found romantic messages from another woman. She was someone I knew from my village, and what hurt the most was the fact that she wasn't younger or more beautiful than me. She was older, had 3 children, and was married. But my husband had been with her even before we got married. He continued seeing her after our marriage. He had been spending days away from home with her, buying her gifts, taking her children to the park, and doing things he never did for me. I was devastated. When he came home, I confronted him. "What is this?" I asked, showing him the messages. He seemed shocked and apologized, claiming it was a mistake. "I'm sorry, I made a mistake," he said. But his words didn't ease the pain I was feeling. He had promised me love, yet here I was, betrayed. He begged for my forgiveness and promised that it wouldn't happen again. I was torn. I loved him, but I felt so much pain and anger. I decided to leave. I took my children and stayed with my parents for a month, not telling anyone what had happened. Eventually, my parents asked why I wasn't going back to him. I told them part of the story, but they didn't believe me at first. They thought I should forgive him for the sake of our children. He came back, asking for forgiveness again. For the sake of my children, I agreed to give him another chance. But deep down, I had no feelings left for him. I hated him for what he had done. After 2 months, his behavior didn't change. The texting started again, and I saw him with her. This time, I realized that he hadn't learned anything. He would apologize every night, saying I was the best wife and mother, but his actions never changed. That's when I made the hardest decision of my life. I decided to stop listening to others and to listen to my heart. I couldn't stay in a marriage where trust was shattered. I decided to divorce him and move on with my life. I went abroad to work, leaving my children with my parents. Life is tough, but I have no regrets. I am strong, and I know that I deserve better.